Am I the only one that's getting tired of staying here in America for 12 months in the year? I can't be the only one. I can't be.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. So no one else.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, I'm Sierra. And my channel is pretty much dedicated to whatever's going on in my life. And right now, I just wanted to come on randomly and talk about like my low-key frustration with America. Like, I literally feel like that more than ever, to be honest. And that's why I wanted to get on video, just to like have like a talk with you guys, see if I'm the only one, which I really don't think I am, but I'm the one that's posting the video. Like, honestly, I've been feeling this way for about like a good year and a half. I don't know what's been going on in my life, whether it's subconscious, whether it's just things that was happening. I don't know what's the reason for it, but I feel that way now. I was born and raised here in the US, and I had a good life. I had a really good life. Like, even up until now, like, I have a good life. I cannot really complain much about anything. Blessed to have a two-parent household. Up until the time I graduated, I was like, what, 17 or 18 when they separated and got a divorce. So I've had the pleasure of having both parents. I have 4 sisters, 2 brothers. The eldest brother I never got to meet. He was on my dad's side, and I don't know where he's at in the world, but I really hope if he's watching this, he's doing really well. I also have a younger brother by my dad. I recently found out about him not too long ago, just a few short years ago, which was quite unfortunate on my dad's part, but I won't get into that. And I also have a sister, a younger sister on my dad's side, which he also did not. This is so horrible, guys. We gotta do better. But anyway, I love all my siblings, but I was raised with 2 siblings primarily, and I have another sister from my mom's side who I love dearly. We weren't raised together primarily. We would like see each other every now and then, but we wasn't primarily raised. But anyway, I'm going too far off the subject at hand. Needless to say, I have siblings and I love y'all. I pretty much say all this to say that I've had a pretty normal childhood. I went through all the stuff that pretty much everybody go through, you know. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, I had a really nice life, and I still do currently. But like, again, I've been really feeling tired, like really feeling tired of living here in the US, like 12 months in the year. I think the pinnacle for that was when 45 was in office. Yeah, I think that's what really piqued my disinterest with like being here. I never felt so much racial tension in my life, ever, until he was elected president, which to this day is ridiculous. But that just goes to show you who we're around 24/7, what they really think. Welcome to America. But yeah, so I would say, yeah, like a good year and a half, I've been really thinking about just not living here. I didn't specifically know where at the time, but I just knew that I was tired of living here 12 months in the year. Like, I needed to split my time in between here and someplace else. And around that time is actually when I started doing some digging, because as I remember, around that time I was also looking into business ventures. Yeah, like I was looking into like generational wealth and really trying to have multiple streams of income, which I still am doing now. But I was also like really doing that then. Like, I was at my starting peak. And long story short, like I started to look up YouTube videos, or I say YouTube University. I was looking into investment properties. So of course it's like you buy an investment property or you build it, and you rent it out for anybody, for vacationers, and you have your other primary home where you're living at. So ultimately you have 2 homes, but somebody's occupying the other one. You're a landlord technically, because this is your home that you either bought or built, and you get the money from it. So that's another stream of income, being a landlord, you know. And that's really what I was looking into, and I still am. So at that time, I started looking at the Caribbean, because what better place to have an investment property than in the Caribbean? Like, who don't travel to the Caribbean? Who don't get away and vacation? So yeah, I was looking into buying a home or building it, and I didn't know which one I wanted. So I was doing a lot of research then, trying to figure out like what's better, like what's the pros and cons of building versus just buying outright. And if I do I buy already completed house, or is it better for me to buy an unfurnished or incomplete home just to save on coins and then do like a fixer upper, like all that stuff. Like I was literally gauging in on, because like I said, I'm a jack of all trades and I like to have different streams of income coming in. Another reason why I'm considering to do the YouTube content creating like full time. I'm growing my subscribers, and hopefully y'all are subscribing to this channel as you're looking at this right now. Like, at least give me a thumbs up. So yeah, so that's where my headspace was at the time. Like I was really like driven on either buying or building some property. Fast forward, I started thinking about what island I want to invest in, like as far as property goes. And I was talking to my hubby, and I'm just like, okay, like what should we do? What I want to do? Where we want to build this at? Like there were so many factors that you have to consider when you're investing in property anywhere in the world, but like especially overseas, because that's not your primary residence. So you have to figure out a whole bunch of stuff. So I started looking at places, and the first place that I thought was the Bahamas. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, I have Bahamian descent, so I have family that's actually still in the Bahamas. And I felt a sense of connection there because of that. And number two, y'all, for all of y'all who live in Miami, Florida, what's the closest island? The Bahamas. So the Bahamas is like right there. So I'm like, okay, I mean, there's like nonstop flights there day in and day out. That's good. I have connection there. That's good. I mean, it was just like, why not? But what made me change my mind about the Bahamas, honestly, primarily, if I want to be honest, it was about the currency. For those of you who know, one Bahamian dollar is equivalent to one US dollar. So there's absolutely no stretch in the US dollar in the Bahamas. Zero. Like zero. That's my biggest like drawback. I want to be in an island where my money stretch. I really do. I want to be obviously in an island that is peaceful and relaxing and all of that great stuff, and the culture is just very vibrant. But let's not mistake, like, you know, if I'm going to be living there for a few months out of the year, I want to be able to really enjoy the currency, enjoy my time, and enjoy it on US dollars. So needless to say, that was one of the reasons, primarily the reason why I just scratched the Bahamas off of my bucket list. Not to say that I won't consider investing in property there in the future, because I will never say never. But as of right now, that's not my first place. The second reason why I decided against the Bahamas is honestly, it's just, at least, I don't know, it's just like too congested in the Nassau area, because that's the capital. And honestly, it's like, it's so influctuated with all these sailors and tourists. I mean, I don't know, like, it was like a big turnoff. And I get it, when you have an investment property, you have to be in an area that is considered prime real estate. You need to be in those spots where tourists can come and, you know, could come and stay at your place. I get it. But there is also so many people doing that there. You know what I'm saying? And while I know that I can set myself apart from all those other vacation rental spots, it will be a little bit more challenging. Because like I said, like the Bahamas is right next door. A lot of us from the East Coast go over there. And I just felt like it was just too fluctuated. So that was really the second reason. So boom, Bahamas is off, right? So I started looking into other Caribbean places, because like I said, like I wanted to, and still do want to have an investment property in the Caribbean. That's it. That's when I started doing more digging. And guys, I'm so stupid. Like, I didn't even consider safety. like, that's like so crazy. Like my first mindset wasn't even the levels of crime. My first instincts of determining where I want to be at was really like the currency. Anyways, that's why researching is really good. That's why looking at YouTube videos is so good, because it helps you expand your mind. So needless to say, that's what I did. And that's when I started looking at, I found this website, and I don't know what that website is called, guys. I really don't. But it's such a good website. Like, you can put in where you currently are living and then put in the place that you're looking to live or visit, and they'll literally show y'all statistics. Like, for instance, they'll show you food in the US is $5. Like, this is an example. Food in the US is $5. Food in Jamaica is $1, $2. Like, they show you that. They give you that comparison. Is $1, $2. Like, they show you that. They give you that comparison, so you can really see like how far your money stretch. And it also give you statistics on crime. And that was the website that I went on that really made me heavily consider the crime rate. Obviously, there's crime everywhere. You can't get away from crime. But I'm also not going to put myself or anybody that's staying in my rental in a space where they are filet mignon to hoodlums. Like, I don't have time for that. I really don't. And I don't want them to experience that. So I was just looking into the crime rate, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, dang, man. Like, again, like, there's a lot of crime here in the US, but again, we have over how many people? How populated are we? We have to be at least in the billions. Have to. If not, like, a huge high million. So obviously, the more people you have, the more crime. But on an island, a tiny island, like, you don't expect to have that much crime there. In fact, you shouldn't. So obviously, like, I scratched off specific countries, Jamaica, Trinidad, I mean, different places, like, and I started weaning it down to places that are relatively safe compared to other islands. And I came across one particular island that I'm not going to mention, and the reason why I'm not going to mention that is because that is a secret for now, and that is part of my surprise that I'm going to give y'all at the end of this month or next month, about the time I get back. Needless to say, like, my mindset has like heavily been on investing in property, and later on turning that investment property into a home of my hubby and I own, like, at least for like 3 or 4 months out of the year. So yeah, that's what I've been on for the past year. And honestly, guys, it only gotten better with my research. I finally found the place that I really do want to invest in. And I talked about it with my hubby, and he was like, okay, this is really, really good. You know, you know that I may not be able to stay there for 3 or 4 months because I'm gonna have a job. And I'm like, well, listen, this is why we have to have our own businesses, so we can have that flexibility, number one. Number two, if we don't have our own businesses, like, at least get a job where you can work from home. Anything's possible, guys. Like, y'all can do it. Obviously, for those who work on site, like, it's not easy like that. You have to work on site. But for those of you who are business owners, or those of you who are looking to be business owners, or for those of you who do work for a company, like a 9-to-5 company, but you work from home, like, y'all could do it too. Like, just get in the habit of doing what feeds your soul. Like, that's really like what type of time I'm on, and I feel like I've been on. And of course, I encourage y'all to do the same thing, whether that's doing what I want to do, which is finding a place outside of the United States and planting some roots there, or not. You know, just do what makes you happy. I will never stress that enough, guys. Like, y'all have to do what makes you happy, because like, when you're dead and gone, like, we don't get no do-overs, like, that we know of. So I would say, if that's something that y'all are interested in, consider living abroad for a few months out of the year. Like, you don't have to have just one place of residence. You can have several. You can have a primary residence and a secondary residence, or even like tertiary residence. I hope that's a word. At least in the medical field it is. And I think, honestly, like, the older I get, the more I experience life, and I experience the people. And I also feel like it's the shorter my patience is getting with people. Like, it's not the world. It's not the world by no means. Like, God didn't make no mistakes in creating this beautiful, beautiful world. Like, and that's precisely the point why I want to travel the world and be a part of it rather than just being in a rat race. And that's really all it is here in the US. Like, it's a rat race, man. Like, yes, there's opportunities, but the lengths that you have to go to get to those opportunities, depending on what they are, is ridiculous. You have to consider a lot of factors. Everything is based on status here. It's also based on who you know and not what you know, which is very unfortunate. I work in human resources, guys, and I cannot tell you guys enough how who you know plays a huge part. And there is a lot of corruption in any industry, but especially the corporate world. And what they do for one person, they will not do for you. Whether that's because they don't know you, whether that's because you don't fit the mold, whether that's because your skin tone, like whatever the reason is, whether that's because you don't speak their language, it all exists and it happens. And I'm just like tired of it. Honestly, like I've been tired of it though. Like, it was just building up. Like I said, it's been building up since 45 was in office, and like all this tension amongst all of us. Like, I never want to go back. If that's making America great again, then shit, take me out of America altogether. Now, obviously, if you are in a certain bracket, tax bracket, status, skin tone, whatever, living here in America won't be so bad for you. That's not really like my story. It's draining. It could be really draining just with everything. Primarily, it's really the rat race of it all. Like, of course, no matter where you go, there's going to be pros and cons, but it ain't it. It ain't it being here 12 months out of the year. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to give up my citizenship, because while I don't like the past or the current state here in America, I'm not foolish enough to give up my citizenship, but I'm also not foolish enough to stay here and be miserable and become like everybody else I see, which is miserable. You know, I gotta still keep my positivity, guys. Like, I'm very goofy. I love to laugh. I love to explore. I sometimes like to meet people. I don't know, like I'm like weird that way. I'm an ambivert. Like, sometimes I want to be around people and I'm really good at talking with people, but then there's other times that I really just want to be left alone and like put in my little hermit shell. So that's that. But like, another reason that I'm tired of living here in the US, like 12 months in the year, what is there really for us? Like, what's the retirement age? And what's the retirement age going to be when we're that age? It honestly is very stressful. The school systems here are very stressful. The keeping up with the status quo is very stressful. The blatant and disguised racism here is very stressful. The people here are very, very stressful. We have so many entitled people here. I don't know what it is about here, dude. It's like people feel like you gotta jump when they say jump, and that's not how things work. And I don't know, the driving is crazy, guys. I've traveled a lot of places within the state, so I can actually compare. And no matter where you go, you get these crazy drivers. You get, honestly, sometimes not the best people that you run into, but then you get some really good people too. Like I said, like there has to be a balance, right? But you're not always guaranteed to get that balance here. It's just not happening. The bills are high, ridiculously high. Like, nobody can argue that except the rich millionaires who are greedy. Politics, oh my God, don't even get me started with that. Society, what they're trying to push on our kids, all these mass shootings, even in the churches. You can't even go into Dollar Tree without getting shot. I mean, it's, need I say more? My primary source of happiness is to be happy. My primary source of happiness is to be around peace. And I don't feel like I'm in a lot of peace here in the US. I really don't. And I've been working on ways to change that. So honestly, guys, and this is just my remedy, and my remedy is to split my time in between the Caribbean and the US. That may or may not be your remedy. I just want my life to flow. I want it to flow like the ocean, and everybody should. Like, guys, this rat race, this matrix, it will always be here. Do not let it kill ya. I can't tell you how many people that I have crossed paths with in the working space and just out on the road. Like, you could tell, like, they really are truly miserable. And they probably haven't always been that way, but they've allowed the system to beat them up so bad to where, honestly, I guess they're just a part of the vicious cycle. Like, there's more to life than working. Paying bills. Like, there's way more to life than that, guys. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all took something from this video. This video was just about me and my mindset right now. And like I said, like, I hope I'm not the only one out here who's really like over it here. But guys, this is just the mind of 𝐃𝐸𝐴, and this has been the mind of 𝐃𝐸𝐴 for a good while now. And I'm finally putting boots on the ground and making a change to shift my mindset, for one, and to add more essence to my life. I'm doing the same okie doke work and schooling right now. Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. I got homework due. I don't even want to think about that. It's low-key scaring me, like how checked out I be sometimes with school. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, let's continue this conversation in the comment section below. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. So all right, guys, until next time, bye.